How does receiving gratitude impact us as much as practicing it? So it's one thing for us to extend it to others, but what's been the impact of gratitude when people are pouring it into you or giving it to you?
It's everything. Like, I think when you're receiving gratitude, it like literally is strengthening again that connection, that bond between two people. For when, like, think about it. If someone just said to you, "I'm grateful for you," you instantly, what happens? You feel more connected, you feel loved, you feel all of the warm hugs from Matthew Ripayoung. Like, you do. I think like that's the power of gratitude and that connection and that warmth.
Yeah, 100%.
I think it boosts your self-worth, and it boosts your feelings of feeling worthy and that you play a part in somebody's life in some way.
Yeah, it's like I call it like fuel, right? It is that recognition of being seen, being heard, being valued. I think if we're overly dependent on that from others and don't have it for ourselves, that's something to work on, right? It's like we all benefit from recognition. We all benefit from affirmation. We all benefit from a gratitude being extended our way. I think if we're dependent on it for our sense of
if it's a need.
If it's a need, then but let's face it, even those with the strongest sense of worth and the strongest sense of personal value, it still makes your day when someone takes that time to recognize something you've done, and hey, thank you, you're really making a difference. I mean, that's fuel for the soul. It's like it's like a mirror reflecting your worth and value back to you, right? In a really powerful way.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. Let's be real. You didn't start your business to feel this stressed, this stuck, and this alone. At Rhapsody, we help business owners just like you get their shit together. That means building high-performance teams, fixing time and money leaks, and finally stepping into the kind of leadership that doesn't leave you burnt out. You don't need another guru. What you need is a coach who gets it and gets results. Go to rhapsodystrategies.com and let's get started. A lot of times, like, you think of relationships that have fallen apart, especially like, your relationship, your primary relationship, and people feel, what's one thing that they say? Unappreciated, right? It's as often where, and even in the workplace, like, people will leave a job because they feel unappreciated. So we know the benefits of doing it. We know the damage that can happen if we don't. So how can we be more intentional in both personally, professionally, in extending that gratitude to others?
Yeah.
I was going to say, you said it earlier. One of the ways you can be intentional, certainly if it's a significant other, is to use something like the gratitude cards as part of a daily ritual, right? Like, that is, to me, one of the most simple ways where you don't have to, hey, what are 3 things you're grateful for? For a lot of people, say, in the moment is right. When you've got the cards, you've got a starting point to now have that conversation. What a beautiful thing to do as a couple, the way you're doing it.
Yeah.
What an interesting out-of-the-box idea for a leader to do.
Out of the box. The cards do come out of a box.
Right? But
FYI.
Imagine as a leader in an organization using something like these in a daily or weekly kind of touch point with their team to explore gratitude on the team, is to use a tool like something like that.
I have someone, Jennifer Topping, big supporter of the podcast Living Richly Nation. She loves her gratitude cards. What was so great is she already had a gratitude practice every morning. She writes in her journal, and she was like an early adopter of the cards, and she sends messages all the time. And she sent me one where she had been pulling that week, and her cards were on point for her that week. It really helped. But so much so that she takes her card and she puts it in her purse, and it goes to work with her.
Oh, wow.
And she gets to work and she sits it on her desk. And she actually inspired me that I don't actually, unless you're over, we do them together in the morning. But if not, I do mine at my desk, and I sit down, and every morning I pull my card first thing, and it sits on my desk all day, and I stare at it all day. There is that crossover though between, like, you're doing it personally, and then how can that help with leaders, right? And how can it help build your team, and how does it build that sort of like that team dynamic and that trust in that team? So
I love that practice. It's not something that I've done, but not foreign to setting intentions or a direction for the day. Again, not something I do daily, but try to do regularly. The cards have become that in many ways. But how many times have we set an intention or read the card in the morning or acknowledged something, but then we get into our day and we just forget. So what a powerful visual. I talk to my clients all the time when they're trying to establish a new pattern of behavior. If they're trying to break from an old pattern and establish a new one, well, we know that neural pathway in their brain for the old way is well entrenched. And we're not going to erase that. That neural pathway doesn't go away. What we have to do is carve a new one. And in time, the best analogy is, imagine you're walking through the woods on a trail that is now well identified and well groomed versus you kind of, I think there used to be a trail there, but it's overgrown. When we start practicing more of the new, the old starts to feel that way, and our mind tends to now gravitate more towards the new way of doing it. But it's this, how do we reprogram the brain and how do we stay consistent? And I will often talk to my clients about having a visual interrupt, create a pattern interrupt, because it doesn't matter what your intentions or your desires are in the early stages. It does matter, but in moments of pressure and stress, your intentions and your desires go right out the window and your habits kick in and you go back to the old way of doing it. The best way to remind yourself of your commitment, of your desire, and your what you're trying to do is to have some kind of pattern interrupt that reminds you of the decisions and the choices you've made, right? And what a powerful way with these cards to use them in that manner.
1,000 times I'm on a call or I'm having a difficult conversation and I'll look at my card. And there's so many times I just look at it and I'm like, yeah, I got this. And then you go right back up. And sometimes it's all you need is just that cue.
Yeah. Love that. Love that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about folks that may have tried or had they tried to do the gratitude thing or had a gratitude practice.
Yeah.
And maybe it didn't work out. Like, where should they start fresh? How could they do that?
Yeah. I think I always say I've said this before on the show, get aware of when you're saying, I have to, I should, I could, I must. Just get present to it. Like the first time you're just gonna be like, oh, it's interesting. Like just observe it, at least for now, and see where that, you're saying that a lot. And how are you feeling in your body when you say it? Like for me, that's the first step. And then just replace one I have to statement. Notice it and just be like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Okay, how about if I just say I get to? And just do that. Even just do that, like as often as you catch yourself doing, and just start there. That can be the simplest form that I've seen have big impact.
Yeah. I would add your cards for sure are an amazing way to kind of freshen up a gratitude practice, whether it's an existing one, like you mentioned, Jennifer, and how she has an existing practice. This is like help it go on steroids, or you're trying to kind of reboot it or approach it in a fresh new way. I think the cards are really good. I would say the other thing is just pick one thing, like look for what's good in this moment, even if the moment's ugly, even if it hurts. Gratitude is not a journal prompt. It's a lens. And when we see it as a lens, we can put that lens on at any time and look at the same set of circumstances that felt like they were going to defeat us, and we see things differently, right?
Yes.
Think of putting on sunglasses. You put on the dark sunglasses, and all of a sudden you see the world differently. Gratitude is a lens.
Yeah. But not about avoiding the pain, but just seeing it differently. I think that's
exactly.
I think people think it's like this fake avoid, and it's not. It's like we talked about, the two living in parallel.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hi.
So it's weird because we never sit like
that. Yeah, like she turned. Hi, I'm here. Hi. I'm not Rob. Yeah.
I think it just comes
although she keeps putting her hand on my knee, it's really weird, but
Wow, I got really quiet.
Busted.
Creating that routine.
Yeah.
So for me, it's always in the morning. Like evening routines are great too.
Yeah.
But I think it's about finding something that you can be consistent with. I'm a big believer in how you start your day is how you run your day, and that can really kind of dictate the decisions you make, the thoughts that you have when you're present. And I think these are a great tool because they're quick, they're easy, but it really simplifies how you can tie this into your practice.
Love that.
I think it's an element. Gratitude is an element of the entire living richly mindset, right? If we go back to even, whether it's defining your values or creating rituals and all of these, when you incorporate gratitude into all of that, it becomes now just part of how you live life. And so just as we said with all of that, if you haven't defined your values, if you haven't created rituals, start with one thing. Start small. You don't have to change it in everything overnight. You can allow this to be, it's a process to allow gratitude to become a part of your life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And there's no right way, wrong way to do it. Just start incorporating. Just start.